Good morning, afternoon, or evening, everyone. Today, I'm going to be covering the Tier 6 Premium Destroyer, the T-61. Now, I did do a poll on my YouTube channel around 2-3 weeks ago where I asked you guys, I'll show you guys, I asked you guys basically, do you guys want to see a series similar to something like Fresh Look, but where we cover ships that have been removed from sale? I did this around 2 weeks ago, as you can see, and the overwhelming majority voted yeah, I should do it. So this is the first video of that series. And we're covering the T-61, which is actually a ship that got removed from sale quite a while ago. But it's, well, a ship I actually never play, and I never really see it, so I'm happy to cover it for you guys today. Now, some of you are wondering, why aren't you showing the build and the camouflage section at the start of the video as you normally do? I want to see if I can change the format a bit, see what's better or what's worse. So do let me know. The build will be at the end of the video regardless. I'll show the camouflage at the end of the game as well. But let me know what you think of the format, if it's better or worse or whatever. And I will make sure to read the comments. So the T-61, what does it have? Well, of course, it's a Tier 6 German destroyer. So it gets hydro. Well, not all of them get hydro, but this one gets 4-kilometer hydro. It gets a smoke screen, the standard German smoke screen, which isn't that good actually. And it gets 8% speed boost. It does get 17,650 HP, which is pretty decent. And it gets 4 main guns of 3.8-second reload each with the 128mm gun. So you get 32mm pen because we have that improved German HE penetration, which is what we want. The torpedoes have 8 kilometers of range, and they do around 72 knots, and they reload really fast at 61 seconds, so they're pretty decent. The ship is overall pretty good, this one. Unfortunately, it's not available anymore because it is actually a pretty cool ship to have. But anyway, we're starting off the game here. We just walk to the cap, getting to the C cap. This is kind of what you want to be doing with this destroyer. You want to kind of be contesting caps because you get that smoke hydro combination. In this case, now we need to smoke because we're just getting spotted for free. And we need to remember that number, the 4-kilometer range on the hydro. But anyway, we got a Podvoisky double division. As you can tell, this is a small match, and it's not live commentary. I played this match a few days ago, but I wanted to feature this one. I don't really have much time right now to do the live commentary, to be honest. So I'll just feature games I played in the other day, etc. You know. Plus, it's a pretty decent game regardless, even if it's a small match, to explain what the ship does. Now, in this case, as you can see, the Podvoisky's caught in our smoke hydro combination, which is really nice. That's kind of what we want to do. Now, you can still do it with the Tier 6 Tech Tree Destroyer, the Ernst Gaede. I don't know how you pronounce it or not, but I think you can still do a smoke hydro combination with that one. But I believe the reload is faster on this one, so you do have slightly more HE DPM. But namely, what's really nice about German destroyers in general, and I did cover Z46 in a previous video a long time ago, around a year and a half, 2 years ago, where I explained this, but they do have that improved HE penetration. That's going to be really important when you're fighting, especially Tier 8 battleships, but even Tier 6, 7, but most importantly, 8 battleships. You're going to be able to deal with them a bit better, especially something like Monarch or whatever. Something covered in 32mm armor, you're going to do way better in. Now, of course, the HE alpha is lower than the other destroyer counterparts to balance it out, but you still got the German AP, so if they're full broadside, you can use AP on people, and you can do pretty well. Now, in terms of playstyle with this ship, there's not much going on here. I mean, now we're just going to open water the Rook a bit, and if we take too much damage, we just go dark. That's kind of how it works here. That's kind of it. There is a CV in the game, which we have to keep in mind. He might be in their spawn, which maybe we could farm him later on. But as you can see, this Bolognese is smashing me because I think he has improved AP angles. So we need to chill out. But we're going to get behind this rock, which means we're going to be able to go dark. So that's okay. I mean, he's shooting me from pretty far away. But, you know, when you see a T-61, you got to be shooting it, guys. It's pretty good. I wouldn't say it's like game breaking. I think it's just a good ship. I'm not really 100% sure why they removed it from the game. I don't know the exact reasons. I assume it's just because it's like pretty good overall. But I actually don't know the official reason. But one thing to mention is the camo does look really cool on it. I think the ship looks pretty good. But anyway, we found an AFK Mayoko we can farm a bit for free. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, in ranked it's pretty good. I mean, this match, to be honest, is a bit similar to ranked because it's a small match. But in ranked it can perform really well. Again, like there's not much to say except it has the smoke hydro combination. So against tier 6 destroyers, you have that advantage. And if it is a tier 6 rank season, you have to keep in mind also there's no radars at tier 6. So you only have to deal with other hydros. I think the maximum hydro range would probably be around 5, I think. I don't think Nuremberg has 6. I think it has 5 or 5.5 maximum. Even if it has 6, you know, it's a Nuremberg. So if you just see it, you just walk away from it, okay? Regardless, though, against other destroyers, the German destroyer will have hydro. But you can deal with them pretty easily with this one, you know. But yeah, the torp reloads pretty fast. I mean, I mentioned these already. Here we're just farming an AFK. Not much going on. We get to shoot him a bit. Now, what's worrying, of course, is the CV dive bombers here. I didn't know they were coming straight for me. I thought they were going for Heinrich, so I kind of just sat still AFK. But now they started to come towards me, so we accelerated. We realized the Mayoko, at least the CV missed a drop, but we realized the Mayoko actually came back into the game, and he's going full speed forward, unfortunately. But as you can see, there was a little spotting here over here behind this island. There was a fighter plane briefly spotted. And when a fighter plane is spotted without the big red circle, it means, well, it's a carrier-based fighter squadron. So, unfortunately, he hit us with a bomb there for 3,000. So, we can only assume that he was behind the rock. But now we see him. So now we're actually able to engage him with main guns, which is really nice because we have... Well, I think even if you didn't have improved HE penetration, I think you'd still be able to penetrate the Ranger literally everywhere. But you know, that's gonna help anyway. Well, it doesn't actually help in this situation. But actually, so it's kind of useless. But, you know, we can pen him anyway, so it's better to just shoot him. Unlike, of course, tier 10 CVs where they have an armored deck. You're gonna have a hard time dealing with those. But against, I think, tier 8 carriers, you should be able to still pen most of their decks. Except for maybe, like, Indomitable and Implacable. Because those have armored decks, even at tier 8. But the rest you should be able to pen, I think. If I'm not missing one that has an armored deck. I don't think another carrier has an armored deck at tier 8. But the rest, I think it's like around 25mm armor. So you're going to be able to pen their decks with the T-61, which is pretty nice. Even though the HE alpha is lower, I don't know. I just think even if the HE alpha is lower, having penetration, getting that consistent HE damage, even on noses and sterns sometimes, is really important. Because let's say you get a fire on the middle of the ship, for example, when you're farming a battleship. If you shoot the nose or stern, you can get an extra fire or something. And in the meantime, you can also get full penetrations on those ships. It also means, for example, maybe if your aim is not as good and you can't pinpoint your shots on people, or you're getting some bad dispersion, even if the shell goes into the nose instead of maybe into straight superstructure, you know, where you're aiming, for example, you're gonna still get full damage, which is nice. I mean, that's what you want. So even though the alpha is lower, I think overall it ends up being pretty good. Especially, I mean, with tier 6 destroyers, realistically, like, I'm thinking of something, in my mind, I'm thinking of something like Ganevny. If you're just shooting tier 8s and you're just hitting their... Well, you're trying to aim for superstructure. Maybe your shells have some bad dispersion. Sometimes it happens. And it goes into the nose or wherever, you know. You're gonna get no damage when it hits the nose. Okay, you might get the fire, but for T-61, you actually will get the fire anyway, and you will get penetrations. Now, the CV is gassing me. Unfortunately, I'm dying for free, guys. The AA isn't too good on the T-61, but that's okay. We got the Ranger right here. I'm gonna try get him. My goal is to get him before this Prince Heinrich gets him. I'm a bit worried that Heinrich will dev strike him, guys, because it's a Ranger. It's made of, like, soap, so I hope he doesn't one-shot him. But the Rangers secondaries are opening up. By the way, if you see, I'm aiming right at the Rangers smokestacks somewhere there, and like maybe a bit lower. That's where the citadels are normally. Like here, you see where the shells are hitting? That's where we're getting citadels. And now we switch to AP and boom, one shot him. Pretty cool. But even though we killed the CV, guys, unfortunately he has his dive bomber squad up, and he not just is he spotting me, but he's also able to drop me, and I'm only 5k HP left. We've got 76k damage, but I don't want to die just yet because the game's not over. It's a 4v3, and if I die it'll be a 3v3, and the points are very close. So the CV did drop me there, and he got a big 1k damage drop, which might not be that big, but we only have 5k HP. So now we're down to 3.6. And of course, the Rook and the Bolognese are able to shoot me here. I'm trying to isolate with just the Rook because the Rook has a slow reload. When these bombers die, I'm able to go dark. I'm hoping I don't die. He misses his drop luckily with dispersion, bad dispersion. The Rook, we go dark from the Rook, and now we're just able to chill out. Now the Rook does try blind fire me, but I'm behind the Rook, so that's not really gonna matter. And we get away with it, guys. We get away with it, which is really nice because that's really important. We need to preserve our life here, or else we're gonna lose the game. That's what happens in close games. Sometimes it's better to just try your best to live, even if it looks improbable. But what I did there was basically try to hide from the massive DPM. It's not even huge DPM, but it's the quickest reloading ship. It's the Bolognese. I tried to hide from him. And then, of course, deal with the Rook's reloads every 30 seconds. It's better like that, because then you can focus on dodging the Rook instead of having to focus the Rook, the Bolognese, and the CV drop, right? So that's kind of what we did there. We did pop a smoke here. I would say the smoke was a waste of a smoke, because I could have used the island to farm the Bolognese. I was expecting the Rook to get spotted from thin air, apparently. So, but of course, he's not going to get spotted because, well, our CV is dealing with the Koenig on the other side. And, well, there's nothing else to spot him on this side because it's just me here in their spawn. Now, the Rook, for some reason, decides, instead of going towards B cap, which would have overall actually been better for him, he decides to turn and kite away northward. Now, he is kited outside of my torp range right now, unfortunately. So if I try torp and he just keeps walking in a straight line, my torps aren't going to reach. But I don't really care. I'm going to still torp anyway. The reason for that is I assume the Rook isn't going to perma-kite all game, right? He's going to probably turn back into me or turn back into the game because he needs to, because they are losing the game. Now, the points are inverted here, so don't get confused. My team is at 760 points and their team is at 665. And we have the double cap. So they do need to cap the B cap, guys, and even get kills here to win the game. But I'm going to try my best to not let that happen. Now, going in front of this rock is actually a bit risky, this play that I'm doing here. But look, wait, let's pay attention. I was surprised these were in range because I thought he was running away full speed. But as you can see his angle, he did turn back a bit and he ended up dying. And good thing we launched those torps earlier, you know, because we got him from that, which is really nice. We got 105k damage, Confederate, and high caliber. What I was saying here is it's a bit risky going in front of this rock because if the Bolognese decided to rush at me instead of going into the B cap, he would have spotted me around the corner. But he decided to go for the B cap, which is actually the better play for him because, well, he needs to cap B to win the game regardless. So even if he just runs it down at me, okay, he might get the kill, but he doesn't get the cap for a really long time. But still, that was a risky play by me, so I should have gone this way, the long way around. But, you know, sometimes we make mistakes, and I'm happy to feature the mistake because I guess you guys can learn from my mistake. Something I want to mention, guys, I didn't mention it. Yeah. Thank you for subscribing. A lot of you have subscribed last month. If I get the numbers up, 511 people subscribed to my channel last month, so thank you so much, guys. For those of you who are not subscribed, I would greatly appreciate a sub to the channel, guys, because it's free and will help me out a lot, guys. So thank you so much for those who decided to subscribe last month, and thank you if you decide to subscribe this video or in the future, of course. But I would greatly appreciate it for sure. But anyway, we're up to 111k damage. I'm gonna keep shooting for resets here. I want to try to, well, win the game as much as possible. Now, Nobutsuki seems to be rushing the Bolognese. I'm not sure if he's gonna be in spotting range. He does look like he's around 4 kilometers away from that guy. So he's probably gonna get spotted. And of course, if he gets spotted, he'll probably die because he's only 2k HP. Now, the Bolognese is shooting him. So I assume he's spotted. He is spotted. I'm just trying to farm some resets in the meantime. I was actually doing a resets mission. I needed 3 resets this game and I got 18, I think, or more. Right now we're at 18, so we'll probably get a bit more. 19. But yeah, I'm just shooting him, resetting him, just keeping the game as not close as possible. Now, all I have to do here is just walk away and live, I think. But if I can delay their cap as much as possible, that makes the game a bit less close. And it's all, well, it would be a guaranteed win for us, right? So that would be nice. We still have a ranger on our team, so having a CV player on the team whilst they don't have one is a huge deal. It's a huge deal that we actually killed their CV there. Because, well, of course he was sit behind the rock, so we had to kill him. But it's still a huge deal getting the CV out of the game because, well, we're not spotted here. If the CV was in the game, we'd be getting spotted. We'll probably just die because the Bolognese will just shoot me over a rock or something. But pretty decent game so far. And remember, this was a small match. Now, we are mid-tier, so there are some tier 7s. But for the most part, it was tier 6s and 5s. But this is a pretty decent game, I would say, for a tier 6 destroyer regardless. Especially in a small match. But sometimes I would say it's maybe a bit easier to get good damage in small matches. It really depends. Because, like, for example, you saw the CV go for me a lot there. For a bit. That's because, well, there's less players to go for example. And, well, in a smaller game, you're probably going to get... You're more likely to get focused than in a big game, right? Because there's less players on your team. So, you know, the CV has less targets to pick from. So, there, you know, there's pros and cons to having a small game. But in this case, I think we had a good time in this small game. Another thing I want to mention is, guys, if you have any ships you want me to feature in any series I cover on my channel, but since we're covering the removed series, if you have any ships you want me to cover in the removed series, let me know. I'll leave a link to a video in the description of the video for a list of the removed ships. I covered that around 2-3 years ago on a video, a long time ago. It's actually one of my most viewed videos on my channel, around 20,000 views. And basically, I summarize every single removed ship in the game, but I don't actually feature gameplay. I just talk about them in port and just cover them. So if you want to see the list, now I think there are some more removed ships now. But by removed, I don't mean removed from the game, of course, as you know, because I'm playing it. These would be removed from sale, so removed from, like, access from sale, like Massachusetts, for example. You can't buy it right now, you know, or maybe you can buy it in Black Friday, but you can't buy the normal version. You'd have to rely on Christmas crates to get it. We ended up doing 125,165 damage, 249 shell hits, 3 torp hits, 2 kills, 8 fires, 4 citadels, and 25 defended ribbons, Confederate and high caliber. Team score, we got top of our team at 2.3k base XP. Detailed report. 2.3k base XP is actually pretty decent, as you can see by the base XP numbers, so we did pretty well. Their Bolognese actually played pretty well as well, so good job on him. We got 31k on the Rook, 30k on the Ranger, 26k on the Bolognese, 23k on the Mayoko was kind of AFK, so you can minus 23k with still over 100k damage. And 8k on the Podvoisky, 8.9, and 3.2 on the other Podvoisky. As you can see, most of our damage came from the HE, though. Some from the AP. If we found more broadsides, I think we could have used the AP a bit more. You kind of want to also try to hunt for broadsides if possible, so you can use that AP. But the HE is also pretty decent to use, as you can see. 19k from Torps. We also got 11k from Fires and 900 from Floods. Damage received, 14.6k out of our 17k HP. Credits and XP, this is what we got. For my commander build, we've got Preventative Maintenance, Last Stand, Survivability Expert, Concealment Expert, Adrenaline Rush. We've got Fill the Tubes and Swift Fish for that improved torpedo reload. And we've also got Main Battery and a Specialist. And Torpedo Speed, of course. You could take Superintendent if you want the extra smoke and extra hydro. It could be helpful in the late game, for example. Instead of the torp reload, maybe, because the torp reload is very fast. But that's up to you. I think a hybrid build's pretty nice on this ship, though, so that's what I took. Prop mod 1, Torpedo Tubes mod 1. You could also take Aiming System mod 1, Engine Boost mod 1, and Main Armaments mod 1. If you don't have an Engine Boost, you should take Engine Room Protection. So yeah, that is the T-61. I guess I can cover the Camouflage section, because at the end of the video, instead of at the start this time. So this is what the Camouflage on the T-61 looks like. I think it's one of the best looking camos in the game. This ship looks really good, actually. It is a really good looking ship. It's got a nice Camouflage for sure. Alternate, actually, even the alternate's pretty nice, actually. The dark blue's pretty nice. But that is the T-61. Now, unfortunately, it's not available anymore. The closest counterpart you can kind of have, I guess, would be Ernst Gaede. But Ernst Gaede's gun reload, as you can see, is pretty slow. Now, you could take the, for example, this reload buff, so you get it down to 4.9 second reload with the same build. But your problem is, well, not your problem. T-61 reload is 3.8 seconds instead. So you got way slower reload, and the HE Alpha is the same. Is the AP Alpha the same as well? Yes, so they're pretty much the same shells, but way worse reload. Your Hydra range, it would be the same. Torpedoes, 90-second reload. So even the torpedo reload is actually way worse on the Ernst Gaede. What? Wow, so is everything worse on the Ernst Gaede? It seems like it. Seems like overall a worse ship. I guess the top speed is a bit higher though. Yeah, the top speed is 1 knot higher on the Ernst. You got some stuff maybe. But the T-61 is overall a better ship, as you can see by the torp reload and the guns. How's the torp damage? Like 13.7 versus... Oh wow, so the torps are identical except they just reload slower. But you get 8 torps versus... No, 8 torps. Wow! So I guess the T-61 is just a better Ernst Gaede, which is a bit cringe. But it's okay. It's removed, right? So... But I guess that's the reason it got removed, maybe. Because it is just almost pretty much a straight upgrade over the Ernst Gaede. That's pretty much the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions or something, leave them in the comments below. And if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and maybe a comment or a sub to the channel, because I would greatly appreciate it a lot, guys. And it helps me out a lot. So thank you. Thank you for watching, guys. And that's pretty much the T-61. Let me know what ship you want to feature next in this new series that I have going on, the removed one. So yeah, I'll see you in the next video, guys. Big fan.